from Phipps Conservatory at the scene of the corpse flower, which is now in bloom, with Mr. Dunigan. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, I'm happy to be here, Brian, and I'm happy to have you here as my guest.
Well, what is your official title here at Phipps?
I'm the Curator of Horticulture, which means I oversee all of our living plant collection.
Now, how was it that the corpse flower came to be here at Phipps?
Well, when I started as curator, I did an assessment of our collection, and I immediately recognized the weakness that we didn't have one of these plants. The corpse flower has the potential to, obviously, as you can see behind me, spark huge interest. And so I said, we need to get one of these in. I don't care what they cost, we're getting one. And so we brought one in. I was able to grow it out for about 3 years now, and right now we're reaping the rewards.
For anybody who might have been underground themselves the past couple of weeks, tell us the significance of this flower in particular.
Well, I'll just say this. Corpse flowers are really hard to get to bloom. They take years and years to get to the size where they have the ability to bloom, and they are very susceptible to a number of diseases, so at any time you could lose them. I can just say, as someone who's been in plant sciences for many, many years, this has always been almost like a holy grail for me. This is, in a sense, this is kind of the pinnacle of my career to get one of these to flower.
So we may, in Pittsburgh, never see the likes of this again.
Well, I can tell you that Phipps, as far as when I went through all of our records of over 100 years of flower shows, we have no recorded history of a blooming corpse flower. So I'm hoping we can get them to bloom again, but I'm not promising anybody anything.
It's because I understand that it blooms once every 10 years, and then emits a corpse-like smell, hence the name corpse flower.
And the reason is because at the forest floor in the jungles of Sumatra, where it's native to, there are very few bees and moths or bats that you would typically think of as pollinators. They tend to stay up in the forest canopy where all the flowers are. So at the forest floor, what the prolific insects are flies and carrion beetles. And what better way to attract a carrion beetle than to smell like a rotting corpse?
Named Romero, for, of course, George Romero, very famous horror film director here from Pittsburgh, and I believe he actually toured the exhibit and saw the flower before it bloomed. Is that correct?
He did, yeah. It was a real treat to have George come in. So George and Russ Steiner, who is the producer of the film Night of the Living Dead, both came in. They were thrilled. Oh, he was so excited to have a plant named after him. He added a little pressure. He said, okay, now that you named it after me, you can't let it die.
So we're in a very short window right now. It's got a 24 to 48 hour bloom period.
Yes.
And then what happens after that?
Well, at that point, the flower will start to basically decompose. It'll just basically consume itself. It'll just start to fall over and rot away. At that point, the plant will be dormant as an underground tissue, similar to a potato.
So after the bloom, will it remain here at Phipps, or will it tour or go back to Sumatra? What usually happens after a corpse flower is peaked, so to speak?
Yeah. So after it's peaked, it'll sort of look like a dead zombie in that sense.
Perfect.
And then at that point, we will remove it from our display, and it'll live the rest of its life in our production facility, which is closed to the public. But then once it's ready to rise from the dead again, we'll bring it back out for our guests to see.
Is it going to be emotional for you after it's done?
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be emotional. I mean, the one thing about it is it was just so much work that led up to this. This is only a 48-hour window. We're already halfway through it. If you don't see it tonight, you're not going to see it. And the one thing is that, you know, once it's done, I will definitely, it'll be a bittersweet moment, but it's just a happy moment in the end. No, it's not a carnivorous plant. It does kind of have this eerie appearance, but no, you have nothing to fear.
Have you yourself ever seen the film Little Shop of Horrors? Well, I'll tell you this, if that thing starts talking, I'm out of here.
It's pretty.
I think it's pretty amazing.
It's actually quite nice.
I don't know, it looks more like a cauliflower, or some sort of a vegetation.
What does it smell like to you?
I can't seem to get the odor on it.
a really pungent Roquefort cheese.
It's not pleasant, but it's kind of neutral.
But I didn't take a very deep whiff, but it was enough to get.
Well, get in there. Come on.
So I feel like when it opens more, it will probably smell more.
So you've got to stick around for the stink, I guess.
I'm actually surprised at how little it smells. I thought I was going to be overwhelmed by it.
It's not disgusting enough. It's not putrid enough. Come on,
And she said it smelled like trash and it was like kind of rancid. But I mean, honestly, now I smell a floral smell. It's not the most pleasant floral smell, but a floral smell. That might be because I'm at Phipps and it smells nice, but you know.
So maybe like trash from a really nice neighborhood. Do you think any plant-related experience in the future could ever compare to this one?
No.
Is it something you'd want to plant?
I'd try growing one. I honestly would.
So if you were to walk out into your backyard, say in a week or so, and you saw one of these starting to bloom, what would you do?
Call your number on the card.
If Glade Potpourri made a scented plug-in like this, do you think it would sell very well?
Probably not.
Would you buy it?
For a friend.
For a friend. That's fantastic.